Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So CraftDee. For today's DIY projects, we're going to be creating some beautiful fall decor for your home using supplies from the Dollar Tree. Now these pieces are completely interchangeable and you can use them year-round no matter what the season. Now as always, all of the projects I create have a complete supply list in the description box so you can easily use it for reference as you gather up your supplies. Now before we start, I have to say hey to all of my subscribers, and if you are a new visitor to my channel today, I do hope you consider subscribing as well and stick around to enjoy these crafts and see all of the different ways that I style these in my space. So now let's just jump right into all of these projects. Now this project is an interchangeable hanging scoop decor piece. Now we're going to be needing 2 of these pet food scoops from the Dollar Tree for this project. So we're going to take our 2 scoops, go ahead and remove those labels, clean them up really well, and then we're going to take them out and give them a couple of coats of the Zinsser 123 primer to cover up that color. And then once that primer does dry, we're going to go over with our final coat, which is this Krylon flat white. You can also use satin white, use your Waverly chalk paint, or regular acrylic paint if you like. Now after they have sat out to dry, here are my 2 scoops painted completely on the front and back sides. Now the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and drill a hole in the bottom center. We're going to flip it over to the back and you'll see exactly where I'm going to be drilling this hole. Now you could have drilled this before painting, but I was just so anxious to paint. I did do this afterwards, and we'll just do some minor touching up. So to drill the hole, I'm just going to choose a large drill bit. I'm choosing a drill bit that will fit at least a stem of greenery inside of it. So I just chose a really large one from my kit. The size of it is up to you. Now if you don't have a drill, you can also cut the hole out with a very sharp utility blade, or you can use a hot knife. Just be very careful when using these items. So from the back of the scoop, I'm just going to carefully start drilling my hole and make sure it's in the back middle behind the handle. Now we do want to start drilling these really slowly. Just let the tool do its work. Don't apply hardly any pressure, and you'll see it'll form the perfect hole opening right at the bottom of the scoop. Now if you do have any little slivers of plastic or anything, you can go ahead and clip those off and remove them. And we're just going to repeat this for our other scoop. So here are our 2 scoops with our holes in the bottom all nice and drilled out. Now before we do any embellishing, I'm going to go ahead and add the hangers to the back. Now to do this, I'm going to be using some of this jute twine, and I got this from the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square. I'm going to cut 2 pieces at about 4.5 inches because I'm going to be forming 2 loops with the jute twine. Now I'm going to take one of those loops and I'm going to apply it to the back as shown here. Now placement is key here in order for it to hang. So this is where you want to place your loop. This is where I found that it'll hang the most even. Apply a heaping amount of some of that hot glue. I'm using wood glue on there. And then I'm going to scrape off a little bit of that paint on each side of that glue to actually place a little piece of craft paper over it. Now I wanted some of that glue to come in contact with the actual plastic and not just the paint. So that's why I just scraped off a little there, but that'll be covered up by that little piece there. And this just looks so professional when you finish it off this way. So I'm going to do this for both of my scoops. And so now they have both of their hanging pieces all in place. Now I decided to add a little bit of distressing to my piece, and my camera shut off for the first one, but for the second one I'm going to show you what I did. I took a craft stick and some black acrylic paint. I'm just going to dip my craft stick in, and then I'm just going to drag that craft stick along the edge of my scoop. I love using my craft stick method to do distressing. I think that it just gives it the perfect amount of distressing, not too much, not too little, just the perfect amount. And I love how it just looks like it's chippy and uneven, so it has a more natural appearance. You just want to do to the opening of the scoop, the handle, and you can add as little or as much as you like. Now once that's done, I'm going to grab some of my white acrylic paint and I'm just going to do some minor touching up. During this process, you may have chipped or scraped the scoop, and also where you drilled those holes, some of the paint may have come off. So I'm just going to touch those up with a little bit of white acrylic paint all over and allow them to dry, and here they are, all dried and ready to go. So now we're going to start embellishing. I'm grabbing a couple of these fall picks from the Dollar Tree. Also some of these green sprigs from a bundle that I got at the Dollar Tree as well. I'm also going to grab some leaves, and these have little berries on them. You can add any combination that you want, and I just chose some really bright festive colors for my bundles. So I'm just going to bundle one of each into a little group there until I'm happy with what it looks like, and then gather those stems together and stick them all down in that hole that you drilled. And they'll just slide right in there perfectly. You just pull them from the back and then do any adjustments inside of the scoop to make sure everything fits the way you want to. So here's my bundle all inside of the scoop, looking really cute right now. Now as you can see, those stems will be hiding behind the handle of the scoop. Now to add some embellishing, I'm going to add a little ribbon tie around the very top of that handle as shown here. So not only will this provide embellishment, but it'll also keep those stems from poking out in case they get shifted around. So I am just going to glue some of this grosgrain ribbon around and then hot glue it on top of itself, not actually on the actual scoop, and then rotate the seam to the back. Now this will provide the perfect base to apply one of these ribbons that I also tied from that grosgrain ribbon. And if you don't like bows, that's okay. You can leave this off of your project, but I wanted to add it just to give it a little bit more of a farmhouse accent to my project. So I'm just going to hot glue that on top of that strip that I wrapped around the base to give it a little bit of an accent. Now I'm going to repeat this for my other scoop as well. Now to put the ribbon on there and to tie it, it's really simple. I'm just going to fold it in half as shown here and have a little tail. I'm going to grab the back and wrap it around, then come up through that loop in the back. Really simple, easy little bow. I am in no way a bow professional. I just kind of winged it and just made a little bow tie here, and that's what I used to make this little bow to go at the bottom of my scoop. So I trimmed it off and then I added it to my scoop project, and that is it, you guys. That's all you have to do to make these really cute fall decor pieces. And here they are, your completed set of hanging scoop decor for the fall. Now you guys know that I'm always thinking outside of the box with my ideas, and I was drawn to the pet aisle to pick these scoops up to craft with them today. Now the very fun part is choosing the huge variety of fall foliage that they have out now and to make these perfect for your space. Now I do love them for the fall, but don't put them away when the season ends. I have made these so they are completely interchangeable to enjoy year round. Now just remove the stems from the hole and replace them with stems of your choice. Easy peasy. Now these are going to be so much fun to decorate for all of the seasons and the holidays throughout the year. You all have to let me know what you think about this project in the comments below. Now this project is a frosted globe lantern. We're going to need one of these stemless wine glasses from the Dollar Tree. We're going to need one of these LED battery lights from the Dollar Tree in any color. We're going to need one of these small glass bowls, and these come in a 4-pack from the Dollar Tree. Okay, we're going to grab that small glass bowl. We're going to and also grab our little LED light. Go ahead and screw the light bulb and then gently push out the lighting component inside and all of the LED lights, and just set those to the side for now. We're going to remove the tag, and I'm also going to remove that little hanger piece on our little LED light. Now for these two pieces, we're going to clean them up and then take them out and give them a couple of coats of this satin black spray paint. Now for the stemless wine glass, I'm going to take that out and give it 3 to 4 coats of this frosted glass spray by Rust-Oleum. So here is our LED topper light piece, and here is our little bowl, all nice and painted and dried. And here is our stemless wine glass with that frosted look. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our lighting assembly pieces as well. Now to put the lantern together, all we're going to do is flip that bowl upside down as shown here and apply it to the bottom of your frosted wine glass. Now I'm just going to be using my high temperature wood hot glue for this, but please use E6000 or Gorilla Glue if you want a more permanent hold. You're just going to bond those together and hold them until they are bonded. Now once those two pieces are bonded, all we're going to do is reassemble the top for the LED light. You just string those lights back through the hole and then snap that little assembly back in place. It should snap right back in there, and then feed those lights back into the bulb and screw them back in place. Really easy. Now to cover the white part, I decided to cut out a little foam circle. You can also use felt as well, and I'm going to put that on top. Now I'm not going to glue it over the entire mechanism. I'm just going to put a dot on the top of the battery compartment. This way you could still access the battery compartment and the on and off switch. So you're just going to press and hold until that foam secures itself to that top lid. And then you just sit that on top of your entire lantern assembly, and look, you have the cutest little lantern. Now if you want to turn the lights on, just flip that little foam piece up, switch on the light, and there you go. Really easy to access. And here is the little lantern with the frosted glass. It is so super adorable. Now you can place these in just about anywhere in your home, and the fact that it's battery powered makes it super convenient. Now I do love this style, but I am just going to show you how to jazz it up just a little bit more for your space. Now here we have all 3 of the components that we started with, and we are going to start to embellish this frosted glass jar. Now you could put any kind of design on it, but I decided to do a diamond pattern. Now to do this, I'm going to be using some of this black permanent vinyl that you can get from the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square. Now if you can't find that, you could also use the electrical tape in the hardware section, and I've used this in the past and I've cut it into strips to use it the same way. Now to cut this vinyl or to cut your electrical tape, I like to apply it to a cutting mat and use a ruler and your utility blade to cut all of your lines out. Now an easier way to do this is if you have a paper cutter, you can also feed it into one of these paper cutters and cut it into strips. Now for this project, I cut my strips into 1/4 inch in size. And here are all of my little strips cut to 1/4 inch, ready to go for the project. So now we're going to go ahead and grab our glass, and we're going to start that diamond pattern. But first, before we start applying it, we're going to have to mark the top into our section. So I'm going to put 5 dots around the top, and this will make 6 sections. So I'm just taking my little chalk marker here and I'm going around and I'm eyeballing the spacing between it. But if you want more accurate spacing, definitely use a tape measure and make sure these are equally spaced apart for the best result. Now once you've marked all the top edge, go ahead and peel away that vinyl from one of your strips, and we're going to start applying it to the jar. Now when we start applying it to this container, we are going to go down at an angle. Now this will establish the pattern for the remainder of all of your strips. Just go ahead and trim it off where it overlaps the top and the bottom. And then that where it ends up at the bottom will be your first mark at the bottom, and we're also going to mark 5 equal dots there as well. Now we can trim off that top edge of that piece. So we're going to take our second strip. Now we're going to start to apply this too. Take that second strip and just kind of follow the pattern on the first piece, going to that next dot at the bottom. And we're going to continue this all the way around. So now we have all 5 of our strips going around our frosted glass. Now you do want to rub that down, the fingers down, to make sure that they're nice and secure all the way around. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go the other direction to make our diamond pattern. We're still going to use those 5 markings, starting and stopping the same way we did. So I'm just going to start applying it at one of those markings and end up at the marking on the bottom the same way, crisscrossing those pieces we just did. Again, we're going to trim it off where it overlaps the bottom where you can't see it from the outside of the project. Then we're going to continue to add our strips all the way around, going to the next spot, making sure the spacing is even all the way around. And here is what it looks like when it is all done, you guys. I love this pattern. So now we can go ahead and assemble our lantern. We're going to assemble it the same way. I'm going to be using some wood hot glue for my project, and I'm just going to apply that base onto the glass. And then once that's adhered, all we have to do is put the topper on the top, and that is it. And there you have it, you guys, a beautiful upgrade to this lantern piece. Now I love this diamond pattern, and it really does make it look a bit more expensive. Now I do hope that you give this really cute and easy lantern a try. But if you can't find the LED lights, don't worry, you could use this piece without it. All you have to do is add just a couple of little battery candles like I did, and you can still enjoy this piece. Now this project is a set of farmhouse planters. Now we're going to need 2 of these plastic popcorn boxes from the Dollar Tree, and they are sold in 2 packs. So go ahead and grab your popcorn boxes, and we want to remove them from all of the packaging, making sure you remove the labels on the side and the bottom. Now I'm going to take it out and give it a couple of coats of my Zinsser 123 primer to cover up that popcorn design. And then I'm going to follow up with some flat white spray paint, or you can use your chalk or acrylic paint if you like. Now here are my 2 popcorn containers, all nice and dry on the outside. Now I wanted to give it a farmhouse look, so I wanted a little farmhouse label. So I have these little farm fresh labels that I created, and I will provide a link to these down in the description box below. I have a printable that you can print on paper, and also an SVG that you could cut on your cutting machine. So before I add those, I want to go ahead and trim off the top of the containers, and I'm using that same ticking stripe ribbon all the way around. You just want to cut it where it overlaps at least 1 inch. Now I'm going to use my hot glue to apply this. Now keep in mind, when you do apply this ribbon, you want the top edge of the ribbon to cover up those scallops. I didn't want the scalloped edge to be showing in my project, so I just aligned it right above those scallops, so we'll have a nice ticking stripe edge instead of a scalloped edge. Now once you get all 3 sides covered up with that ribbon, we're just going to do the back, overlap, and fold in the raw edges, and here is what one looks like. Go ahead and repeat this for your second one, and you have 2 completely outlined containers. So now I'm just going to add my little label. Now you can print this on label paper, you can print it out on cardstock, whatever you like, and then I'm just going to place it right beneath that ribbon trim. Now since I'm using sticker paper, it's self-adhesive, but if you use cardstock, you can apply this with a bit of Mod Podge on the back, and they hold on there very well. Now here are my 2 Farm Fresh stickers on here, ready to go. So now I'm going to add a little bit of distressing. So I'm using some black acrylic paint, and again I'm going to use my craft stick method to apply the paint. I'm going to be applying this really lightly to the corners and the bottom edges of this container. Again, I love this process. I love adding it with a craft stick. It just makes it look so rustic and natural, and when you add it, you could just add as little or as much as you like. Now I'm going to be doing this for both of the containers, and when they're all done, you want to allow these to sit to completely dry. So now that our pieces are nice and dry, the fun part comes. It's time to embellish. So I grabbed some fall picks. I also grabbed some of these little pomegranate little stems, some eucalyptus stems. I also grabbed a couple of potted plants. I have these from IKEA. I love to decorate with these. You can use pumpkins, whatever your heart desires for your arrangement. And check out how gorgeous these turned out. I absolutely love them. Now these beautiful fall colors, they are just so perfect to accent the black and white boxes on this set. And those little labels just give it that classic farmhouse touch to finish off the look. Now, of course, I had to make these interchangeable as well, and I added some potted greenery from IKEA for a sweet year-round look. Now, you guys, I love all of these DIYs. They were so much fun to create today, and I hope that I have inspired you to get creative. Now, I do love them all, but let me know in the comments which one of these projects today was your absolute favorite. Let me know in the comments below. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So Crafty EE on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Now, if you like videos like these and you don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below, or just click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen and make sure you hit that little bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. It doesn't cost a thing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.